Hamilton was probably one of the greatest phenomenons in theater history, in that it's the first time where people would pay $500 or $750 or $800 for the last row in the theater.
When you hear the name Smiles for Kids, what do you think of? Maybe a dentist, a playgroup, a camp? No. Smiles for Kids is actually a ticket brokerage which Joe Aizer co-founded along with his partners Stephen Ashaer and Ezra Azizo. Pooling each of their unique talents together, a ticket dynasty was born.
Back in the day, I was working for my father, who's in the retail business, and it didn't really suit me for a bunch of reasons. Whether it was having to have scheduled hours and whatever, it just wasn't for me. So I came that I was I wanted to I also was a big Yankee fan, so the Yankees were making the playoffs and the tickets were very expensive. So I said, hey, maybe.
Wait, how old were you at this time?
Probably 20 years old.
Okay, so you're 20 years old.
21.
You're a diehard Yankee fan.
Right, and I couldn't get I could get tickets, but I couldn't afford them.
Right.
So I said, hey, I need to get a season ticket package so that I could go to the playoff games. So I bought a season ticket package, and I said, now what am I supposed to do with all the regular season games? So I said, I guess I have to sell them. So I called a broker in Nevada, and he handled selling the regular season, and I would make money on the postseason. And he would pay me.
How'd you find this broker in Nevada?
On eBay.
One second. You're a big Yankee fan. You can't afford the tickets, but you got to go to every game.
No, I don't have to go to every game. I just want to go to the playoff games.
You just want to go to the playoff games.
The regular season games is never a problem.
Okay.
But the playoffs is a problem.
Right.
So what
It's
I did
expensive.
So what I did, so I wanted to get that for face value. So the guy so let's say the ticket was $30, he'll pay me $35 a ticket. So okay, I'm making $5 on my ticket up front, by the way. And then
where were you buying the ticket from?
I was buying from the Yankees. I got my own season tickets.
Okay.
The guy would pay me over face value for the regular season.
Why?
Because it was worth more than face value. He didn't have access to buy that many of them.
Why couldn't he?
Because the Yankees were not pro broker at the time. The Yankees would only sell to individual fans because reselling tickets in New York wasn't legal.
Okay, so you were buying season tickets from the Yankees,
right?
Reselling them to a
broker in Nevada up front, the whole season up front, and then I would keep the playoffs, and he would, the playoff games I would go to, and the ones I didn't go to, he would sell, and he would take a commission on it. So I said, okay, if buying one Yankee ticket costs, put in $4,000, you get $5,000 out plus playoffs. So if I put 10 times as many, $40,000 worth, maybe I'll come out with $50,000 plus playoffs or whatever it was. So so what started from having a pair of season tickets, the next year expanded into more season tickets, different categories, seats that had better returns on investment than the original one that I bought, which were good for personal use.
You realized I could just keep scaling that business model.
Correct. There was free money in it. At the time, it was free money. Literally, there was a Yankee bleacher seat cost $8. On average, you'd sell it for $24 because there'd be, 11 games against the Red Sox worth $50, 3 games against the Mets worth $50, opening day worth $75, a bunch of Saturdays. Before you know it, a season ticket that cost $400 was yielding you, $1,600. You know what I'm saying?
What
in the
was
regular
the difference
season.
between then and now?
Well, now the same seat that was $8 then is 20 something. The teams now have a lot of data. So our ability to make triples and quadruples of things has completely gone, and it really became more a game of volume, where you have to do more dollars of sales and in order to make the same amount of money. So every year it becomes a game where you need a lot of resources just to compete, because
Right.
you have to get good rates from all of the exchanges at the same time. You have to get, teams want you to buy in bulk also to a certain extent.
So how many years were you on your own before you partnered with Stash?
Not a long time, maybe 2-3 years. I'd say like 2-3 years.
And in those 2-3 years, are you done with retail, or are you doing a little of both?
No, I was doing retail at that time, and then when I partnered with Stash, then I opened my own office. We literally sat in the office, me, him, and a secretary, and we said, what are we supposed to do? Let's order lunch. I don't know, we didn't know what we were supposed to do. So we had an office, we didn't have anything to do. We didn't have that much tickets, but
What were you actually doing every day?
No, we spent a lot of time worrying about what we were eating for lunch. Like literally, we weren't doing that much. Like but like it was a foundation. And then when we opened the office, Ezra Azizo calls me up. So he's like, hey, I have a ticket business. So well, I have a small business. He has a small business. So let's make our two small businesses into a bigger business.
And so Stash also had a small business before.
Yeah. So Stash's small business merged into my small business. And Ezra's business, which was smaller than mine and Stash's, because Ezra was like a year or two behind starting, so we had more resources in. He came to us, I'm buying tickets to the San Francisco Giants, and we're doing very well with it. So I have 40 season tickets. By the end of the year, we had hundreds and hundreds of season tickets to that team, and it was because we worked together. The San Francisco Giants were like, oh yeah, you guys are making triples on our seats. Take more of them, We'll give you a payment plan. We'll give you more playoff tickets. We'll give you more tickets to the hot game.
And what was preventing them from selling direct to consumer?
It didn't cross their mind at the time. You know what I'm saying? It was to them, this is our price. So the best thing we could do is sell it for the price that we have.
Right.
So they were very happy. As long as the tickets were sold, they were happy. Now it changed. Now it's, oh wow, a bleacher's going for $100. Would you be willing to buy 1,000 of them for $98.50? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what. Back then it was a ticket. Oh, the bleacher's $20. It's selling for $100. Why don't you buy them? I think you should buy them. It's a good deal for you.
Right.
They're just handing you money at the time. Now it's much harder.
So now you three are partners. How old are you? 24, 25?
Yeah, I would say that.
Was each person focused on different markets?
Well, everybody has a different strength. So like my strength is more in the intellectual numbers end. Ezra's strength is in his talking, he's very very smooth talker. You can just listen to him talking all day long. So he's our PR man, and then Steven is a very very good ticket pricer.
Was the name S4K from the beginning?
Yeah, Smiles for Kids Entertainment from the beginning. Yeah.
How did you think of the name?
We were like, the truth is like we wanted to sound like we were like a camp, because like we said, we're gonna call a team and say, we want to buy group tickets. So who are you? Oh, S for Kids, Smiles for Kids. Camp New York, whatever. We're gonna go to Boston to see the Yankees. Oh wow, okay. Because there was special group rates for kids groups.
Right.
So that was kind of the theory.
So the business model throughout was become season ticket holders of as many seats or as many teams. As
many renewable seats as you possibly could get.
Right.
Of teams in markets in which the economics work. So some markets the economics don't work. In other words, a team that leaves money on the table, not a team that certain markets has not a lot of volume. And you buy tickets, you'll lose 50%.
Let's talk about Hamilton. You guys were big on Hamilton from the beginning.
Right. Yeah, we actually had tickets to the first show, the preview show, and we sold them for half. So it wasn't literally from the Hamilton was probably one of the greatest phenomenons in theater history, in that it's the first time where people would pay $500 or $750 or $800 for the last row in the theater, knowing that the play's going to be on tomorrow and the day after, it's going to be on until people get tired of it, But yeah, so it happened to be that we took a little bet on it early, where we had some, we had group purchases in, and from before anybody was interested in it, the upper deck seats were $50,
right?
$50, $75, and. And yeah, we had a very good run with that.
You get pitched from teams?
If we honestly,
how does it work?
If a team reaches out to us, usually they're doing a bidding war, and we will never win a bidding war, because we're not we're not there to have a bidding war. We're there for relationships. So if you want to have a bidding war and then have a guy lose 30% and then lose him next year and call someone else. So I don't want to be involved in that thing. Any relationship we have with the team has to be mutually beneficial. The team has to be doing well. We have to be doing well.
Right. So all the money, it sounds like it's really in the playoffs. That's where the real juice is.
In sports, in baseball it is. In basketball, you'll grind some money in the regular season too. You'll still have your profits from the regular season. Sometimes you're just buying deals from other brokers. Guy prices the COURTSIDE's too cheap. For $250, I know they're worth $500.
Is it fun sitting next to COURTSIDE?
Like anything you've done too many times becomes, less and less interesting to you every time that you do it. But I still enjoy it. It's a few blocks from my office. It's easy to walk. If we have a couple of tickets left at 7:15, I'll definitely do a walk-in.
You're in the entertainment business, which obviously got strongly affected by COVID.
Right.
March 12th, there's no more NBA,
Right.
and theater, concerts, everything in entertainment
Right.
canceled. What do you do?
Okay, so, to start, we're very thankful that the government shut down for COVID because, the way it was looking was that there were going to be events. We bought the tickets to them, and nobody was going to go. So they turned it into, there are no events. We're going to collect refunds from the teams, and we're going to be shut for probably a year, and we're going to reopen. And I think by the time we reopen, which I believe will be next baseball season, that people are going to be twice as hungry to go to live events. We're still doing things behind the scenes. We're improving our computers. We're picking up some tickets. We're making phone calls. Whatever we're doing, we're maintenance. You know what I'm saying? I think there'll be a lot of scraps to be picked up. I think there's gonna be a lot of people who were small-time brokers who said, hey, this is not working for me.
We're now out, right?
Yeah, because if you're only making enough money to live off it, so then you say I can't wait a year. I need to do something else. I can't. It's not working for me.
Right. So pre-COVID, how many employees did you have?
I always like to say it's like 14, I think.
14? And the other 10 people, all day, what are they doing?
Customer service. Customer service and accounting. We have a lot of people in accounting and people customer service answer the phones, enter purchase orders, make sure the tickets are posted for sale, make sure they're getting delivered to the customers, answering phone calls.
What's your favorite venue?
I like MSG. MSG, you walk there, it's easy to walk in. The temperature's always good, the seat's comfortable, the food's good.
Amazing that you can still make money on the Knicks even though they suck.
It's because there's so many tourists, they have to do the math. The place has 19,000 seats. There's 40 games, right? That's 800,000 capacity. What's the Yankee capacity? There's 81 games times 50,000 seats is 4 million, right? 4 million compared to 800,000. For every 5, 6 Yankee stadium, there's only one in MSG, right? And you have people coming from out of town in the holidays. They don't speak a word of English. They want to see a basketball game. They want to go. In other words, I went to London. I wanted to see Manchester play soccer. I don't know if they're good or bad, and I don't really care.
But
I'm just taking a selfie in the stadium.
Right.
Exactly. So it's very, very heavily tourist tourism. A lot of the customers don't have English. They have emails in Spain and all these other places. They don't know what they're buying. They're going to get entertained. It's $100, $200, whatever. It's part of their vacation to New York.
Do you have any? I'm sure you have so many funny stories over the years.
I mean, our company's in the phone book is Smiles for Kids, and every once in a while we get a call from dentist patients. I don't know where they get our phone number from. Literally, we just football them around, pass them to, we want to speak to Dr. Hibbert. Okay, hold on for a second. I had it to, well, we have no appointments this Wednesday. Advice-wise, I would give to people is that look to partner with people because your strengths. A single person will never be able to compete. No matter how smart and how able you are, you can't compete against teams because you have somebody who's a good talker, you have somebody who's a numbers guy, you have somebody who's this. So take your strength, right, and walk around with your strength and look for people who cover your weaknesses.
Right.
And that'll give you the most amount of success, and it'll give you the best shot.